All right, Shalom Akim. All praise, glory, and honor be to the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Hashem Rakah Kodash, Kalalalim La Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Hashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to our apostles of James Stone, and salutations to you, Akim, pushing this word in our sincerity. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, West Indians are the real Israelites. We are the chosen people of the living Father. All right, now the topic at hand is the energy lockdown. And I just Googled the term energy lockdown, because don't be surprised, if because if something like this, like proceed or come out of or come from this current situation that between Iran and basically the rest of the world, or Iran versus the US and Israel, that disruption that is going on in the Middle East, in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, I just have to play some video. Coming on the video if it be too long, and hopefully it is edifying. So I just try hit the points, and hopefully it is edifying to the hopefully leg. Because the scripture say, now is high time to wake out of sleep. When you see these things happening, it's nigh. Kingdom destruction is nigh at hand. So let's look up what energy lockdown is first. Because as I said, I Google, I just put energy lockdown 2026. All right, and by me, if you even type it out, the 2026 come up on it, so I just roll with it. It says, as of May 2026, amid Middle East conflict disrupting oil and gas supplies, governments are implementing emergency energy conservation measures. And even out here in Jamaica, it was mentioned by I think it was the energy prime minister, the energy minister, my bad, concerning working from home and to restrict movement or restrict movements of so many vehicles being on the road and such. Now, so it's a conservation measure, energy conservation measures, termed an energy lockdown. All right. So similar to COVID, the same, some of the same measures, working from home and such. It's on social media rather than official, legally mandated lockdowns. Voluntary actions such as remote work, speed limits, and reduced air travel are encouraged to manage energy storage. All right. Now, let me just go straight to energy saving measures. Proposed actions include working from home, reducing highway speed limits by 10 kilometer or encouraging public transport. Like they have the bus system, and that's how they get to corner you too, because the bus system is also which is the JUTC out here. They're going cashless. They've been on the cashless mandate or the cashless agenda for a minute now. And they're rolling it out more seriously this time around, restricting private car use, reducing air travel, and restricting commercial lighting. You know what I mean? So that's what the energy lockdown is about. So don't be surprised you have a next lockdown of the world based on this situation. Now I'm play this video.
Looks like there's no end in sight in terms of this.
Yeah, because that thing, that disruption for going in the street, that cause some serious ripple effects across the world. We're having gas price going up like every Thursday by $4 and up. And gas is getting more expensive, and the food companies are planning on raising food. The cost of living is going up because of higher. So soon, in time, in certain time, you might see like scarcity of food, because if people now got money to purchase food or if you even purchase certain things to replant. You know, because the cost of everything is going to be sky high. You're going to have hyperinflation. We always talk about that hyperinflation. You know, the excessive rising of prices. Then people not gonna be able to afford food. Yeah, and there's food scarcity coming. Another words for that is famine.
War with Iran, and it looks like all the blood.
I'm gonna play back and just
It
listen.
looks like there's no end in sight in terms of this war with Iran, and it looks like all the blowback in the economy is coming our way, and it's already here by and large. Now, along with this, some could say the lockdown playbook is back. And if you're not seeing it in other countries, it's happening. We have rationing, large-scale energy rationing, not just food, not just water, but energy rationing that's going to lead to lockdowns as well. And, of course, everything with Iran leads to the gas pump, the prices of diesel and regular gas going through the roof. It seems Trump has put a cap on things here, trying to keep it like under 5, but man, as soon as this thing breaks above that, I think people are going to go crazy in terms of just the gas alone. When you look at the meat, look in the middle here. They're saying no quick fixes, and there hasn't been any. We've been in a crazy situation since lockdowns in 2020. It spiked the price of beef. It recovered briefly, but then it went on a tear north, and our herd in the U.S. is the lowest it's been in like 75 years. So this isn't getting any better. The beef price is going up, gas going up, and eventually it's going to be where you can't get anything. Kind of like with the water right now. You have a crisis situation setting up out west where Colorado and all the water that runs off into California is being fought over, and there's very little at this point, but it's all across the country. When you look into Ohio, they have mandatory water restrictions being implemented there. And then down to the Carolinas, the exact same thing. Mandatory water restrictions. They say the historic drought conditions have created this. I'm going to tell you, it's weather warfare by and large. All this together creates a crisis. I mean, especially for our farmers. Our farmers don't have the fertilizer or the water that they need to plant the crops that we need for a good harvest at the end of the year. So that's going to be dismal. And all of this combined is setting up for a nightmare scenario. Again, they said there's no quick fixes here, and I don't see it getting better at all. I think the government's going to squeeze the people here, and people should prepare. Not just naively think things are going to fix themselves and get better.
Yeah, because a lot of people is of the notion say, you know, things gonna get better. This too shall pass. Yeah, but it gonna get worse before it pass. You know, it gonna get like way worse to the point where bloodshed will be in all streets, man. You know, this not gonna just be a fix where, you know, it just allow to fix itself and everything go back to normal and then thing it. Now, let me just read this in Ezekiel 4, verse 17. I just read it in the NLT. It says, "Then he told me, son of man, I will make food very scarce." All right, and as you can hear, it's not only food will be very scarce. All right, we have things that will happen that will lead to the scarcity of food, like that energy crisis. You have famine, you have, you know, lack of rainfall and such. You know, as I hear them, I say, him just mentioned them a ration, not even water. You're going to have food rationing and them thing, like in a World War II and them times. You get the rationing card. You get just a little portion for carry home to your family. You know? So he told me, son of man, I will make food very scarce in Jerusalem. I will be it will be weighed out with great care and eaten fearfully. There's a small amount to get, so you have to go pinch it, you know, and make the most of it, you know, make it stretch basically. See, that's what it's coming down to. And when it reach, whenever the food get affected, you know, that's when people gonna lose it. whenever food get rolled back, whenever there's limited amount of food. Yeah, gas right now, gas price I go cause a lot of things or those things like food price to go up. And just remember when they touch people food, what I mean? That's when people are gonna lose it. When they realize that it's difficult for them to eat. When they realize the hope of another meal is unsure. That's when it's gonna get crazy. Real crazy. All right. He said the water will be what? Rationed out by drop by drop. And the people will drink it with dismay. All right. You need not to even elaborate on that. It says what it says. Now I'm going in verse 17 in the NLT. It says, um, lacking food and water, people will look at one another in terror. And that's why the prophecy in the second Ezra said that people are going to take each other food by violence, basically. Yeah. People are going to, kick out the door and take whatever resources you have, food especially. All right, because he said a man always shall be troubled because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right, so we're heading into some like serious times where, as I said, like a blood gonna shed, thus say the Lord. People gonna kill each other for food. Yeah, so this can spiral right into that, man. Terror, terror, and they will waste away under their punishment. People will kill each other for food. All right. Second Ezra, Luke 21 verse but before that, let me just read the second Ezra 9:3. Therefore, when ye shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, which brings me to this, in Luke 21, right, verse 25, and there shall be signs in the sun, right, and you've been getting signs, all right, the different blood moons, all right, different blue moon, or different, eclipse, different signs in the heavens. All right, people been getting, but they make light of it. It don't really mean nothing to them. All right, and you've been getting what? Earthquakes, tremors, different earthquakes in different places, and even devastating earthquakes in China. No, not in China, in Hiroshima. So I think it's North Korea or South, one of them, and then you have Turkey. All right, that devastating earthquake in different parts of the world. All right, but people don't think mean that to them, mean nothing to them. All right, they continue on, their regular day. So, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth what distress of nation, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Now, when I just type it in Google, distress of nations, refers to a prophetic phrase from Luke 21 verse 25. So this is prophetic. All right, the scripture, which we know it's prophetic, but just to, I like that, describing a time of immense global anxiety. What causes anxiety? Unsurety. Yeah, especially when you don't know where your next meal comes from. Yeah, people will lose it. Perplexity, unable to explain what's going on. Confusion among nations, often linked to natural signs, geopolitical upheavals. Now, what's causing this, high prices of gas, our prices of gas to go up? Geopolitical upheavals. America go down, they got trouble Iran, and Iran is also part of the final prophecies. Let's say in Joel 2, is Joel 2 and 20 when he might drive him into a land barren and desolate with his face towards the EC and such, which is the Edens gathering up over there in the valley of Josaphat, or in the Saudi Arabian region, basically if I come up against Iran. Yeah, because Iran is the target, man. They want to take Iran resources. All right. Scripture refer to mention the Carmenians, which are what? The Iranians. All right. Things don't get really ugly down there, man. See the geopolitical upheavals because them trouble Iran, and this is what it comes to. The world, I feel it. All right. Which is part of prophecy anyway, and them are go through with it, but it'll get worse. Them are go through it and feel that them can take. Them are take Iran, them are destroy it, and just everything are good after. But no, World War Three, World War Three, going come right out of that. All right, which is also one of the final prophecy. All right, and before that, the mark of the beast, which is RFID microchip. So when you have microchip coming into play, digital technology, digital ID, all right, with rationing, you remember them used to give a rationing card? Well, it gonna be technologically advanced now. Now when them ration things to you, that gonna be recorded on your digital on your digital we call it now digital footprint or digital information that you get such and such. That's what them are going to even use to track people. See? So geopolitical upheavals and fear of the future. It highlights a state of being tapped without solutions, yeah, often interpreted as a sign of the end times, which it is. These are signs of the end times. All right, you now go get up every day. All right, and things continue as they were, and without any disruption. All right, the end is scheduled for America, for this world. All right, and we're approaching that time. Okay, geopolitical upheaval. Let me go back right here. So it says environmental and physical signs. The Bible describes signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars, alongside roaring of the sea and the waves. All right, often interpreted as what massive natural disturbances, or social chaos, societal chaos. What can lead to that? Unable to afford food and or gas, then especially the food. Geopolitical upheaval, we just read that symbolic meaning. Roaring seas is often interpreted symbolically as unstable or rebellious population. And that's what you're going to see. You're going to see riots. You're going to see civil unrest. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. People them go riot. Yeah. Then shall thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. See, these things were prophesied. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and the end is manifest. And you see the end manifesting when you see these signs, when you see these things, and you match them back with the prophecies what was said to come, by the heaven Father. All right. So with that, hope this lesson was edifying, to the hopeful elect. Getting a better, man. You're gonna get worse. All right. Shalom.